Hello everybody and welcome back. This is Keep It Real. This is episode 11 of Begins Youth. Today is only Shannon and I. Hayden had something prior engagement tonight, so he couldn't make it. So you just get us two for this review. Well, I think for me, this is one of my favorite episodes.
This episode is an emotional roller coaster.
They knocked it out of the ballpark for me.
I have finally calmed down. We do these reviews like right after we watch the episodes, and I was like so emotional and overwhelmed from this episode.
Shannon was crying her eyes out.
So we'll see if I get through this without crying. This episode's flashback follows Dogun. He's at his job at the gas station, and he gets a call, and it's the same person that has contacted Haru and Juwon and Jaeha, and they basically ask him to, of course, make his delivery of gasoline, but instead of delivering gasoline, they want him to deliver water instead, which is a weird request, but he ends up taking it because he really needs the money. At the very end, after the explosion happens, we see Dogun walk up to this person saying, "You're the one who called me about this gasoline, like, who are you?" But we still don't know who it is. As soon as Dogun speaks to this mystery person, they cut to a bunch of different messages and notes that are in a journal, and that journal is then on the scaffolding, and then we just see it close and it reads the notes.
Yes. The episode starts with, it takes place 11 months after the last episode. We see Juan, the first day he's driving up to Dogun's gas station to fill up gas, and he was too embarrassed to see him, so he drives off.
But he ends up returning later that night and actually talking to Dogun.
He asks him how's everything, how's the boys, and
And it's revealed then that Dogun hasn't been talking to any of them, and they have not been keeping in contact.
Juan's mission was to try to reunite with all the guys.
Jaeha's like the only guy that didn't really leave the town at all because of like his family and stuff.
Well,
so he met up with Jaeha really quickly, and they briefly talked about Saiyan and stuff, and Jaeha, of course, has been keeping tabs on Saiyan, and he knows where he lives and stays, so he tells Juan where he is, and Juan goes.
Yeah, Juan goes to find Saiyan, which is a really funny scene. They got hammered. They went out drinking, and they got smashed. They just talk about nonsense. Juan says, we should call everybody to get together. So they came up with a trick to say, let's text everybody that Saiyan is dead.
4 a.m. in the morning, and they send this text out to all the guys saying that Saiyan has passed away, and they go to the funeral home, which Saiyan now works at, and they just wait there to see if anyone shows up.
In the funeral home, they were waiting around, and then out runs Hosu right into, he's like in a panic going, oh my god, my friend, where's my friend? He runs into another funny situation. He goes, he says, he runs to one of the, I guess, memorial sites, areas, and he's talking to the person. He goes, the person asks, how you know this person? He goes, oh, I went to middle school with him. I went to high school with him. He goes,
he's like my best friend.
He's my best friend. The guy goes, you went to school with my father? And then the host who turns around, he looks at the pig, goes, that's an old man. And then
Juan and Saiyan just find him, grab him, and drag him out.
And he's like, he flips out, obviously. He's like, what the hell? Are you crazy? This is not a joke. It's not funny.
After that, they're like, oh, we feel so bad. Yeah. We feel so bad. I'll just text the others that it was a joke. And Host is like, no, I can't be the only one that falls for this joke. We have to get all of them. After that, Juwon comes.
He wanted to beat the crap out of him because it's just mean. It is mean. The funniest scene to me was when Jaeha was coming around the corner with Dogun, right?
Yeah.
Dogun. And he was breaking down. He was broken down.
He was bawling his eyes out.
At one point, he hit the floor. The guys looked over and they're like, oh crap, this is not a funny joke anymore. And it really wasn't.
It was never a funny joke. It was just horrible. Sort of like, it was never a joke. It was like just a way to get them together. They're like, what other way gets people together than death? Like, this will definitely work. Which is the mindset of a drunk person, which is like what happened.
And they apologized because they said that we were drunk. And they saw the 6 of them hung out in the front of a convenience store. And you see Jaeha crying over Saiyan.
He won't let him go. He's like clinging on to him, just going,
funny. It's cute.
Crying
it was cute.
endlessly. It was very Jungkook coded.
And then they were hanging out and they were saying, we're missing somebody. And it's Haru. Haru's still in the hospital. And they say, you know what?
Let's go visit
him. And when they did show up, Haru was walking by and he was rubbing his eye. He's like, is it really them? And he was there, and all 7 of them were hanging out in the cafeteria.
They talk about like Haru still being in the mental hospital after so many months, and they're like, "Oh, you're gonna get discharged soon, right?" And they're like, "Okay, well, when you do, I want to." Juan said he wants to be there, and then Haru's like, "Great, can you guys like all be there? And then once I'm out, let's all go to the beach again."
Yeah.
And then they're like, "Yeah, in the future when that happens, let's all go to the beach." And Ju-won in that moment's like, I don't like promises and stuff and like broken promises and stuff like that. So let's just like let's go to the beach now.
And Hosu comes up with an idea to sneak him out, which is so funny because what they did was just they walked out as a group.
They just like penguin huddled him.
They had him in the middle. They pretty much just slowly walked out. It was hilarious.
And then they were like, run!
They ran into.
So after that, they go to the beach, and they basically do everything that we've seen in the music videos. They're driving over the sand with the car. They went to the little scaffolding with all the rocks, and we had Ju-won standing right there at the top. The boys played with fireworks. They went to have a big sashimi dinner paid for by Juan. It's really interesting, because last episode, they technically were somewhat still together, and this is the next episode, and even though, like, usually just saying that it's been 11 months doesn't really, like, it doesn't feel like time has changed, but just them talking to each other and the way they acted, you could tell that they were different people.
They were.
And they were sort of awkward with each other.
At first they were awkward.
Yeah, at first they were awkward, but as soon as the entire group came together, it was just like family and being at home. It made me emotional, and now I'm going to cry again.
What set her over the top was when they did flashback scenes of the beginning of the show and how they got together.
I'm tearing
That
up
was
right
it.
now.
That just took her over. They were showing how the gang was getting together when they were forming a detention line, and they showed the partying at the container. The very next scene, Juan is in college. And
we assume it's college.
I don't.
It's some culture academy, but it's really weird because they said that like they kind of like confiscate their phones.
Yeah,
so they're only focusing on studying.
Juan gets a message from I think it's Dolan, right? Mm-hmm. And it says, "See, in his past, you have to go to the funeral home." He's like, "Oh, they pulled this joke on me," but in reality, he did. He passed.
Dogan basically tells Juan that Seiya went to motel and he set it on fire and committed suicide, and that he asked Juan to go to the funeral home because he can't go because he needs to be at work because he skipped too many days, and then the other guys can't come either because Haru, Hosu, and Jaeha are all in the hospital for some reason, which we know because of the stories, like maybe why they are in the hospital. They didn't explain why in the actual episode, and then
Juwan's they said he's in the police department, which is kind of weird.
Yeah, they said he's in the police station,
he's in jail.
Which they also didn't explain, but if you know the BTS storyline, like you can put 2 and 2 together. They just didn't show it in this episode. And
then obviously the killer of the episode was Juan went back to the beach and he's on top of the scaffolding and he's bawling. He's thinking about the time that he got drunk with Seiya. This is the best part of the episode because I've been waiting for this to happen since episode 1. Juan jumps off the scaffolding and then time stops. I was like, I had chills. I was like, oh, this is so awesome. He literally froze in time, and then you had that voice.
And then we cut back to the notebook where we see all these very specific notes about the 7 boys, and then the book closes again, and it's the notes.
Oh man! And then they show back to the scene where Juan is just floating with an energy ball around. I didn't know how they were going to do it, but they pulled it off.
It's cool
because you
didn't see it coming.
I didn't think it.
Literally, this entire show has been very like grounded in reality. Like, I mean, like, it's like a realistic...
Oh, totally. This is real life. Yeah.
And then suddenly it's just like, time freezes.
Yeah, that was...
To anyone that doesn't know the BTS storyline, this is going to throw them for a loop. They're going to be like, wait, what? I'm so excited for the next episode. Because think about it, I don't think we've ever seen in the music videos, like, very definitely Jin time traveling.
No, we never see any detail.
Yeah, it's never that detailed. I think maybe in the next episode it will be more detailed where we actually see Juan actively using the power and going, which might be really cool to see. I'm actually really interested. We'll see though if they actually, they're being very explicit with it because in the music videos they always were like, It was vaguely
Vaguely,
hinted at.
very vaguely.
And then even when they confirmed that he could time travel, it was still like vague.
But oh my god, this episode, what an ending.
This was
great.
a absolutely amazing
Talk
episode.
about cliffhanger. He literally cliffhanger because Juan is midair. He's off the cliff. He's just hanging there.
I think for this episode, what really, like, as we were saying, I got really emotional and stuff, but, like, what really killed me is that they went from them being so happy, and then the next scene, Saiyan has passed away!
It happened really fast. Oh my lord.
It was like jumping into, like, an ice bath.
Yeah.
It's so sudden. It's like a shock to my system.
She was happy. It's like happy tears, then, oh my god, tears.
I was so overwhelmed.
It was just wild. It went from, it gets you. It gets you.
Yeah,
oh my god.
This was probably the most emotional episode. I can't believe that we are on, like, the last episode of this show. I don't want to say goodbye.
Okay. Hey, once again, like I was saying all along, this is a very, very rewatchable show.
I love it.
You can actually, and it's only 12 episodes. 12 hours, though. But 12 episodes that
we should just binge watch it again.
You could definitely binge watch this whole series.
I love it. It's just so good and amazing. Thank you, everybody, for watching today's video. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share this video with others. Make sure to tune in to our final review of Begins Youth tomorrow for episode 12. Bye!